Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2 from the team GBL. New Year's Madness Finals. New Year's Madness Mayhem Finals. There was Madness, there was Mayhem, and there were Finals. That was the information I was given. Team GBL putting on a sick tournament, and these are the absolute grand finals, and I think you'll find players worthy of it. Let me introduce you first to the big boy himself. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming, from South Korea, from the inside of our hearts and the bottom side of our soju bottles, it is the man, the myth, and the legend. Cannon rushing to start the series. It is Party. And the second player, the second one we're mentioning, and the second one to make it into this finals, he's won $600,000 in StarCraft 2. He's lost more GSL finals than anyone else has ever been in, fighting for Team Africa C2, the streaming site that also sponsors GSL. It is soO. And also, by the way, we just... And now, let's go to the soO action cam. Oh, he knows. He knows. He knows. He might not know exactly, but let the games begin. Now the Overlord sees it. He knows where this is going. Oh my god. And...
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
By the way, I've never seen anyone cannon rush from this location. He's cannon rushing like literally a Bronze League hero. Bronze League hero. I'll start the cannon rush like a few doors down, and I'll eventually make my way to their front lawn. Well, they'll be very unhappy to look at it. But Harding just skips to the point. He gets up in his grill. He's already building. He started with a gateway and then a forge. We're doing like nowadays we do forge fast expand, except the forge is for cannon rushing and the expand is a robo in their base. So really not a forge fast expand, but it's become not a standard build, but I mean, there's a robo in his base. Has to be proud. But Parting. Oh. And now Parting gets to micro. Let the games begin. 4 queens. I like that choice. The spawning pool is in an uncomfortable spot. I mean, the spawning pool there in a usual game is not really an issue. But now it's 9. It's a whole lot of lanes in Bane. soO went for Bane to try to break this. Is it going to be enough? He could use the prism potentially to power. He's still got a pylon. One of the cannons is depowered. The queens are not in range. He picks up the immortal. And the battery being used to reshield almost everything involved. Another pylon could be targeted. Second immortal's coming out. Just the queens. Front and or knitting crew up against the immortals. They hit so hard. But the queens bite back. The transfuses are there. The zerglings. The warp prism forced back to the low ground. The robo stripped of shields. Shield batteries are gone as well. Well, no more energy, and most of them are dead. The robo is depowered. The pylons of the low ground can't do it. The warp prism's not going to try it. Oh, trying to go up there. There's still enough energy to reshield. It's 2 immortals and a warp prism. Captain Protoss. Name a more iconic combo. But Parting is up against the wall figuratively and literally as he micros. Are you kidding me? He's like stepping them down. Wait, they weren't on the Reaper Cliff. I thought they were on the Reaper Cliff. Oh, you're gonna spread that creep? Harding says no. The Immortals might have about 40 HP between them, but they got plenty of shields, and more importantly, they got a Warp Prism. Yeah, you might get my shields down, but my dad will say, "Oh my God, Dad, why? No!" Serves you right, you little brat, says Brenda. Meanwhile, Parting's just gonna make another Robo. Oh, the Banelings are looking for a target. Oh my God, a beautiful Baneling bust. Hitting so many shield batteries. Not all, but most. There's just one Immortal left. He's Chrono Boost. By the way, where did that probe come from? The probe was in the Warp Prism at some point. The Queens! Brenda and her knitting crew sowing destruction throughout the Protoss. soO right now has 9 Queens, 17 Zerglings, and is working on 6 Banelings, but the Queen holding things down. Parting's like, well, in case I lose this Robo, I'll have another Robo, getting pushed back all the way to the Bronze League Hero Zone, where you're not even in their base, you're just kind of building cannons because it's fun. The Banelings come through, but they don't kill the shield batteries this time. That Immortal picked up. He's building 2 Immortals at a time. Parting! Never give up. Never surrender. It's not retreat. It's tactical withdrawal. And now suddenly Parting has 3 Immortals. More than before. The Queen versus Immortal battle will continue. Alpha Creep. Transfuse is there. The barriers are back online. Shields are up. There's still the 1 survival from the earlier battle with 28 kills. The quad Immortal plays. Again, we've got 11 Queens versus 4 Immortals. This is peak Starcraft right here. And this is game 1 of a best of 7. The Zerglings coming in from the back. They were going to try to counterattack. Parting has a lot to juggle. This Warp Prism bargained for 2 Immortals, but now has to support 4. It's not really the life plan it was looking at earlier on in the game. Everybody calm down. We're chilling. soO somehow has a lair and 37 drones. I didn't even, there was so much action. I didn't realize soO was macroing behind it. But Parting with the juggle. Parting and his Immortal Micro. A test of time. It has withstood. The Queens. There's far too much shield battery without the Banelings to bust through. And rarely do we see a player try Banelings against this shield battery push. And even more rarely are they actually successful. And soO has not yet broken through with the Banelings, and won the game, but the fact he's actually pushed him back this far is unique. I don't know the last time I actually saw someone deal with this with Banelings and not be essentially dead anyways. The circling drop. Morling's on the way. It looks like soO might stabilize, and of course mutas, any amount of mutas. Are there even any cannons? No, this is literally all shield batteries. There's no anti-air. It's just Immortals against Queens. One hits hard, but the other can take it. Meanwhile, the Zerglings are unloading in the main. Parting's gonna have to make some very hard choices with some very hard micro. Oh, the Queens are off a creep, but the Zerglings are in the main. Is there even a cannon? There is a cannon to protect them, but there will be no more income from Parting. The mutas, by default, might be able to win the game. This battle against the Queens, they're standing their ground. And all that matters is the mutas come out. The mutas on their very own will win the game. And Parting, despite his best efforts, he's just now researching Warp Gate. Florencio would be proud. I'm not, well, here's the thing. The mutas can't actually kill the Immortals because there's so many shield batteries that it will take the mutas. I actually don't know if the mutas can out-damage the energy of the shield battery. I would assume so. But and Parting is using the last money he has left. Wait, what happened? The probes! The probes survived! And now he's got stalkers. How is Parting still alive? I don't... He's fought the Zerglings with his probes and lost most of them. But got enough. Now he's throwing the stalkers back to the batteries. There's more juggling than Cirque du Soleil right now. The Immortals, so many of them are falling. The barriers are all that they have. But all that they have is not enough. 2 Gs. soO takes game 1. So, that's how we start things off. I've never seen a cannon rush from that location. And he said, well, you killed my robo, or depower, or whatever. Well, guess what? I'll build 2 more. I like how many players would just assume it's over when the mutas come out. But Parting is like, well, if I sacrifice half of my probes to get enough minerals for 2 stalkers, I might have a chance. And the thing was, he did have a chance. Not a good one, but he did. But Brenda and her knitting crew stitching together a defense against, I would say all odds, but they were doing pretty well. Also, the baneling usage. It is... I haven't seen it for quite a while. Using banelings and zerglings in order to actually break through those defenses. soO, also a risk taker. But we'll have to see going into game 2. Eternal Empire. Parting building a pylon in a normal location. How pedestrian. soO going to take a hatch. What do we got? A normal macro game? Bit of a macro player myself. Oh yeah, maybe I could just comment on the boring standard PvZ. Alright, so we'll Parting go for the Stargate, Phoenix into Oracle, and then follow up with a 3rd base and or some tech. Will soO play defensive until lair at around 5 to 6 minutes, and then decide to put together a lair tech timing, or make sure he defends Parting's play? Nexus on the way. 3rd base for soO. Relatively early. He got his gas a little bit later in order to be able to get that 3rd base. Parting, is this his first probe? Yeah, he's scouting real late. He's really trusting that soO's going to go for just a nice, safe macro play when left alone. And he's right. He's going to get away with it this time. Robotics facility. Oh, wait, whoa. Robotics facility. Parting. Is it going to be the Soul Train, the Immortal Sentry all-in that Parting historically has been known for? That he won many championships with 6, 7 years ago. He's starting with a Prism. He lost the first Adept. I was casting, what was it, Zest versus Denver recently. And I mentioned when Zest canceled his Adept going into the main, Parting would have let that Shade go. And I feel vindicated. Parting let his Shade go, and it died. But he let the Shade go. So now he has one less Adept for very little else. I don't even think he got that much of a scout. The Prism play, there were a little bit where it came into popularity. I believe Stats was using it a bit. It kind of serves the same purpose as the Stargate. You deny some scouting. You keep your opponent on their toes because with a Warp Prism out, you don't know what's going to hit you. It doesn't really have the utility. But if you're going to follow up with 2 Stargates, then you really want your opponent focusing and thinking you're going for ground. He's got 2 Adepts in the Prism. That's it. Don't. Okay, Parting. Okay. Thought he was going to let him. Why would I think he's going to let him? Just because he did. Wow. Okay, yeah, he's going there. Getting +1. This is some... Once Parting really embracing the Diamond League strategies. He's getting the +1 air weapons before he even starts his first Phoenixes. So, he's saying, yeah, I'm going air. That's what's happening. Just try and stop it. Couple of dips, working their way in. Oh yeah, two drone kills? Sure, okay. He's doing whatever he can right now to make it look like, yeah, we got a nice good old-fashioned ground army, maybe get some Immortals, and oh my god, is that an Overseer? Surprise! My life for hire. Yeah, guy. Oh! That didn't last long, but the double Stargate has been scouted. The element of surprise is gone. Nidus Network is on the way. soO is saying, oh, I can't deal with this in the long term, and why would you want to? Phoenix is just constantly poking and prodding and lifting and shooting and flying and being so majestic and beautiful. Phoenixes make their way towards the main. Nidus Network is outside of the third. The focus is on an actual all-out attack, not total surprise. Wait, what does he have to support? Plenty of roaches and lings. Another queen going to be picked off. More Phoenixes are flying by. Parting. He heard the Nidus, right? He loses 1 Phoenix. soO still has 60 drones, which is a pretty healthy number. I'm kind of surprised that that soO isn't sending everything through the Nidus yet. I don't know if Parting's really respecting this right now. Meanwhile, all the queens helped defend last game for soO, and now he's bringing them on the attack. He realizes the value of Brenda and her crew, and gonna start spreading creep on the opposite side. Parting has precious few units on the ground. That's not that many queens. The Phoenixes are getting recalled right now. Will everyone retreat to the Nidus? Run! Run! Okay, the Phoenixes don't really get in on the action. Oh, some select army there. Feel like... Okay, so this is weird. I have no idea how this fight goes. I think Parting's in a great spot, though. Like, he has +1, and he has way too many Phoenixes. The corrosive vials are hitting queens. So, well, that was bad. I don't know why soO didn't just go back in the Nidus. He just kind of so 6 queens died there. Parting has a comfortable worker count. soO's going for Spire. I guess even if you counter the Phoenixes with Corruptors, which that's too many Phoenixes, you actually don't counter that with Corruptors anymore. Like, obviously they can take a bite out of the Phoenixes. The Corruptors have a lot less utility against ground than Phoenixes do, though. So when you're investing, a Corruptor costs even more than a Phoenix. It's 200, 100. A Phoenix is 150, 100. So if you're investing almost 1-to-1 in Corruptors, it's costing you more and getting you less. So even though soO might be able to fend him off for a time, and that's not a guarantee. I don't even know if, like, soO even he should not be out here right now. I don't know if he realizes that. But he should not be on the other side of the map. He runs the risk of getting run over by Parting. I don't think he's really respecting him as much as he needs to. Parting now. He's actually fighting heads up against the Corruptors with 1 or 2 Archons underneath to help out. It's not going incredible. Great Corruptor micro, which is not something you say often, but unfortunately, soO not really bringing his ground units down. It's feeling really tough here. There aren't enough force fields to actually do much. The charge lot's disjointed, but the Archon's doing a huge amount of damage here. It looks like Parting sacrificing his Phoenixes, but is it for the greater good? There's nothing to stop the charge lots. A handful of roaches. The Corruptors can look on in sadness, but that's about it. Another round of charge lots are coming in before the War Prison's going to be sniped off. And that's going to be game 2 for Parting. Locking it down and knocking it out. More than enough. Pretty clean. It felt like soO didn't know much. It was weird, because the Phoenixes did everything they needed to do. Just the Phoenixes existing kept soO off guard and forced him, not really forced him, but he's like, well, I gotta do something. And what is that, like a Nidus, I guess? It felt like a, I guess, Nidus situation and not a Nidus is the counter. And then he lost all his queens, so. If I was Parting, I'd be looking to use, well, maybe not use exactly that build again, but it was obvious soO didn't know exactly what he wanted to handle it. World of Sleepers. This is a cannon rush map. There are, this location up to the high ground is a relatively common cannon rush location. Now there's the whole meta of, is it a cannon rush map? If so, they're more likely to cannon rush, but also they're more likely to scout and respond to cannon rush. So is it better to cannon rush on a cannon rush map or on a non-cannon rush map? Because if you do a non-cannon rush map, then they're not expecting a cannon rush because a cannon rush isn't as good. Isn't as good. Ugh. For Parting, the rules just don't seem to apply as much. His specialty, there are a few Protoss out there. Like, stats you can talk about is defensive control. Neeb, his macro. And then you have players like Zest is very decisive. That's a little more vague. I could come up with something better. But there are a handful of Protoss whose specialty throughout their StarCraft 2 careers, we'll talk about this in a second, has been winning. Not macro, not micro, though heavily influenced by micro. Players like MC, players like SOS, and players like Parting. It just seems they know how to win. No matter what that looks like. And what it looks like right now is we're cannon rushing with a proxy hatch. Parting has walled off a probe while being proxy hatched and building a forge and a cyber core on the other side. So, oh, wait, what? The probe? Is it stuck? Well, he can cancel the pylon. Meanwhile, what is going to happen with the proxy? Cancel the pylon. The drone is on the case, but what's it actually going to do? What is he going to fight the drone? Okay. There's one probe making sure that hatch knows who's boss. The Zealot starts chopping through. So now, and there it is, the robotics facility. Everybody decided that macro game was pretty boring. There were like 5 minutes of not actually killing each other. So let's get to the action already. A Zealot on the way. A cannon will wall off. Not a Zealot on the way, Adept on the way. The Adept actually will stay behind the wall. Oh, Mineral walks the probe through, dies anyways because of the little bit of creep that the hatchery has. Meanwhile, this hatchery died to cannons. And that probe should be stuck here. I don't know if that's a mistake. He does have the high ground pylon for vision. Eventually, with a warp prism, it can get out. I mean, the probe is untouchable right now. 3 more sets of Zerglings. 6 Zerglings are coming out of the natural. Of the proxy natural. He will dodge the Broodlings, which are a real and present danger. Any amount of HP damage. So the Zerglings get in and make a Zealot feel bad about itself. The Immortal has arrived. Just going to be blasting through an extractor, which is a real target right now. That gas is needed for Ravagers. 2 more shield batteries on the high ground. How did the probe get out? Okay, no, wait. soO's just not even, he's not having it. He went for a proxy hatch, and Parting just slapped it down. And then he threw it back in his face. But I need, wait, what? How did that probe get out? Wait, did it just walk out because there's a gap? Am I dumb? Am I a dumb person? Moving on. All right. So, 2 cannon rushes, 1 successful, 1 not so much. I don't even know if that cannon rush was the plan. It felt like he was provoked into cannon rush. It felt like the cannon rush only happened because soO went for the proxy hatch. But I don't think it takes much of a push, or even a slight nudge, or even possibly a slight encroachment on his personal space that causes him to move a little more to the side. For Parting the cannon rush. But that was weird. Game 4. Ephemeron. Alright. These, GBL 2020 kickoff New Year Mayhem, these aren't particularly old. It was held in February, all right? So I'm not like way behind the times on this. But whatever. The Team GBL presents 2020 New Year Mayhem. There you go. Imparting and soO putting on a show. Probe on the way out. A sad lack of forge as well back at home. soO, on the other hand, I don't think soO has been allowed to do anything this entire series so far. As a Zerg player, oh my god, he brought a drone down. Never trust a probe, especially Parting's probe. He's bringing 2 drones down. Oh my god. He has been hurt in the past. This is what happens when you get Cannon Rush 2 out of 3 games. You get 2 drones down the ramp just to deal with your 1 probe that you're not even Cannon Rush. So the trauma. Yeah, soO has yet to have a game where he just kind of like went about his business, where he could get to the 5-minute mark without having to do or react to some weird shit that Parting is doing. It's a tough place to be. As a Zerg player, that it makes things difficult. As any race, but Zerg, a lot of players have their kind of comfort zone, and being pushed out of it is never fun. Nexus is finishing up. Where's the tech, Parting? Oh, Twilight Council. All right. I'm looking into my Parting magic 8-ball filled with mercury. I don't know. DT drop. DT drop. That's my call. And also, it does just kind of look like a DT drop, but... The Shrine of Darkness is not what is going to be built. Well, because he's not mining enough gas. Is he going to keep building probes? How many gates? Oh, that's number 4. Number 5, come on down. Can I get number 6? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. No. No. Okay. So he's going 5 gate adept glaives, which I think is just about as many gates as you can. What is this? Oh, those are Zerglings. I thought they were overlords out on the map. Just about as many gates as you can support while still having a hope of expanding to a 3rd. How greedy will soO get? He's already got a Roach Horn halfway done. Lair halfway done as well. There's a War Prism. Now, I choose to believe that this isn't just a build, but it's also a mind game. This is a best of 7, remember. Remember Eternal Empire? He went Warp Prism, and it was just for a little bit of harassment. This game, he went Warp Prism. He showed the Prism to the Overlord. This time, things are getting a little spicier. That's a bunch of glaive to death. Shuts down the creep. Queen's already being targeted. Shade likely will complete. Decides to go through. The Zergling's getting something of a surround. No roaches out yet, but they're in production. Another warp-in should be coming through soon. Going for the drone. soO has precious few to lose. The 3rd base is vulnerable. No roaches there yet either. So far, Parting manipulating the Adepts incredibly well. He's got to be careful. There's a line to toe between killing drones and losing too many Adepts. So far, he's doing a great job. Shade's coming through. You got to try to... Well, it's a bit of a gamble for soO. It is really tough to deal with this and have the right amount of units split at all times. Another round of Adepts warping in. The Adepts will shade through. More than likely just eat the damage. Just going to take a drive-by on a drone. One more Adept goes down, but there's more where that came from. At this point, just hitting roaches as well. Stutter stepping through. The natural is exposed. The third base, these Adepts could be cleaned up. He cancels the shades. He's stuck in the main, though. Even more drones are going to go down, but Adepts are starting to fall. Will soO be able to stabilize before suffering critical losses? Some might argue critical losses have already been dealt. And 2 more Adepts with glaives. Gonna slice through potentially this mineral line. We'll get at least a couple more kills. Oh my, 12 kills in the last minute. He's down to 29. He's desperately trying to shore up that number. But there's still a warp prism. And it has 4 Adepts. Back at home, Parting already has an immortal. soO will never be allowed to just chill. Parting is all up in his grill. He says, doesn't matter what you say, this is still something that I will do no matter what build you do. Whether it's your supply is unfull or it's filled. Okay, that's optimistic. All right. The Immortals, that was... Parting was moving out. Oh, he's still moving. He was moving out with the Immortals like he was going to attack, which I think the only thing he could do right now that would really hurt him is attack without enough units and actually lose potentially the Prism, Immortal, Sentry, stuff like that. soO is at 53 drones en route. This feels so bad as a Zerg. Like, the supply might be in favor of soO, but the supply lies. Roaches and Lings are not units you want. It feels... Honestly, you feel like you're kind of at the mercy of the Protoss. Well-managed force fields and unit composition. This army has no chance. It's almost painful. But, like, you got all these roaches and ravagers, you got to give it a shot, right? Blink is done. Oh my god. There's a lot of roaches and ravagers. He's going to exhaust most of the force field energy. The Immortals don't have a prism to micro with. Where is that warp prism, by the way? The Blink Stalker is struggling. It suddenly, soO's really starting to lean on this. I have no idea. Like, where did the Prism go? The Prism died. Well, that's a problem. Usually the Prism would be what makes the Immortals, well, immortal. Suddenly, soO is coming in with enough units to make this difficult. Oh, more probes are dying, and as the probes die, soO's options for transitioning out of this, or at least continuing to keep up the pressure, grow. Parting, relying on Blink Stalker and Warp Prism Micro, and he lost the Prism. He doesn't have enough Stalkers. Losing the third base would be devastating. Okay, I just did not believe. But soO did. Parting trying to hold, but down goes the Nexus. The Roach Ravager control on point, splitting them, making sure to minimize the damage and knocking down the force fields. But Parting has one unit to potentially save the day. I think it was spotted. A Disruptor. He's not building anymore. In fact, Parting is supply blocked because he lost so many pylons on the Nexus. The Disruptor is looking for a flank Ruptor here. Zerglings are a good counter because they have to get up close and personal. Does he fire the shot? He's holding on to it. There are no more Disruptors in production. You need more than one. That is just a Hail Mary. Okay, hits. He forces him back across the bridge. Parting. Underestimating, along with me, the strength of that Roach Ravager attack. I'm not sure exactly what happened to the Prism, but without the Prism, the Immortals are actually vulnerable. And if the Immortals are vulnerable, then the Roach Ravager has an opportunity to get damage done. We've seen Immortals with Warp Prisms before, usually earlier in the game. But suddenly soO has taken back control. It's not over by any means. Parting still has an incredibly cost-effective unit composition. He's 1 or 2 Disruptor hits away from turning everything around, and he still has plenty of energy for Force Field. Another Warp Prism coming out. The one thing that's standing out is he has 2 Disruptors now. Okay. Very important to have more than one. You gotta have the threat there. Zerglings and Baneling speed in production. Banelings, this is kind of soO saying, I have the production, I just don't have cost-effective units. I just gotta slam you, bludgeon you, before you can draw the fight out to the extent of, well, when Blink Stalkers and Disruptors start getting multiple cooldowns in a fight, that's when the Zerg player starts feeling kind of like a bitch. And soO is not a bitch. So, we've established that here today. We'll find out how accurate it is very soon. Because what soO doesn't have is upgrades. He's just now building his very first Evo chamber. He's realizing that as well. It's just brute force from too many angles too quickly. If Parting is able to manipulate the battlefield with Force Field and Purification Nova, he has an opportunity. There are 37 Banelings scattered throughout. Here comes soO from every angle. Disruptor, beautiful Force Fields! Parting, whipping out Disruptor Novas. I think one hit his Immortals, though. Not enough Force Fields. The Ravagers knock him down. Parting is in full retreat. No more Disruptors. No more Immortals. No more Sentries. And the Stalkers are on the run. The Disruptor fade away. Big hit. Is it enough? Another shot. Couple Ravagers. Is it enough? I'm pretty sure the Disruptors worked both for and against Parting in that match before it was all over. The thing is, Parting has a tendency to be reliant on these very micro-intensive units. You got your Blink Stalkers, you got your Sentries, you got your Disruptors. When sometimes a good old-fashioned Archon, or maybe the highest of Templar, are the ticket. But soO finally is able to wrest control of the match from the slippery and kind of slimy and weirdly warm grip of Parting, and uses it to great effect. Now it's all tied up, 2-2. Evenly matched, but very different players, is really what I'm getting from it. Especially, well, Parting's always been kind of that crazy player. He's always been willing to throw out the curveballs and the weird builds. And soO, a very mid-game player, but not super cheesy and not a huge late-game one. But if he gets to that mid-game and he survives, well, we saw what happened there. Now, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't tell you we have to take a quick advertising break and thank our sponsors and everything else. And I'll be right back. Thank you, guys. You can pause and block. That'd be awesome. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you about the Team GBL 2020 New Year's Mayhem Tournament. Put on by Maddox, and, well, all I know is it's Maddox, who casts in Korean, but also speaks English. Side note, he is also the PlanetSide 2 Terran Commander and victor of the Community Smash last year. Just side note. Involved in a lot of things. But thank you to Team GBL, I assume out of Korea, for sending me these matches and telling me how exciting these games were to make sure I took a look at them. Make sure to check them out. I don't have information on that. Hopefully I do soon. When you check the description below if this is on YouTube, which you unlock by liking and subscribing and by ringing the bell. Ring the bell. So that way, instead of knowing that every day I have a video, mostly, almost all the time about Starcraft, instead of just knowing that and being able to go and see the new YouTube video every day, you can get an annoying notification about it. So, ring the bell today. More notifications for you. Are you one of those people who clears every notification? Well, I wasn't one of those people, but now I actually am. So respect to you, and for those of you who aren't, maybe you'll get there someday. Good luck, have fun, and have an amazing day. I'll thank you, like, subscribe, and good luck. Thank you guys for sticking around. Now, if you guys happen to have insider knowledge, I would ask you refrain, but I simply I ask you a simple question. Is Game 5 going to be a cannon rush? What does a cannon rush mean? There are different definitions, but yes or no. I'll be right back. Don't skip past or you miss the very exciting poll. Thank you for sticking around and definitely not skipping past if you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, by the way, while Jimmy gets this game loaded up, make sure to find that guy who wrote an incredibly long and seemingly thought out comment about balance in the comments. There's always one. I'm privileged that I get enough people that I bring in at least one per video. And take your time and give him a like. Okay? Give him a like. Not because you like what he said, but because understand that he's not going to change. So at least make him feel a little better about his life. So, with that, in the bottom left, Dragon Phoenix Gaming's but nope, this is not working for me. Parting! And with a spawning pool. In the top right is soO. It's a 12 pool. We're on Zen. One of the more unorthodox maps. 2 locations at the natural to potentially have to wall off. I'm sure soO knows that. Parting knows that. Has Parting ever taken his natural? Who knows? Parting is cannon rushing. But, so yes, those of you who answered yes, vindicated. Those of you who answered no, get out. But there are 8 Zerglings on the way. This is a macro 12 pool where he takes a hatchery behind, and oh my god, those are Zerg! Oh no! Thankfully for Parting, he didn't try to wall the low ground. He's already walled off on the high ground. So, the thing is, well, soO is now, oh.
No, God!
Well,
No, God!
hold.
Please, no! No!
The Zerglings are actually going for the probes. I don't know if this is the play, though. Because, okay, so remember, soO went for a 12 pull. Look at the drone count. He's at 13 drones. Even though he's taking a hatchery and he's he's up against the cheese he's defending, but look at the drone count. When you go 12 pull, you don't have that many drones. Parting wants to build a robo here. He really wants to build a robo here. Parting wants to build a robo wherever he can. Ideally as close to the opponent's base as possible. Yep, there it is. He jammed it right in between that pylon and that battery. An architect. A master. An artisan of cheese and building, planning. Essentially a degree in civics and also psychotherapy. Oh, the cannon! Not therapy. Analysis. So the spine crawler is reaching down and just punching the cannon in the face repeatedly. Get some fucking revenge for all the cannons that have hurt the Zerg before. But it does not stop here. Because Parting is undeterred. He knows the Overlord sees everything. But that has not stopped him from not building 1, but make that 2 robos. Double down. Here we go. Wait, can the spine hit the robo? Wait, if there's no high ground vision, but okay. Get a nice workout here. All right, jazzercise. About the jazz. Oh, we're just trying out. We're coming up with things that have slightly more range. But now there's high ground vision and a warp prism. Here we go. Now, the Spine Crow are already backing off of those phase cannons are blasting through. Now, this is Starcraft. Is that a Spore Crawler? Indeed it is. A lot of Queens. Queens, the real MVPs for soO thus far in this series. Oh, this... Whoop! And he dodges the corrosive ball into the prism. I'm sorry. Well, soO has 35 workers. This is looking a little reminiscent to Game 1. Where Parting... He made the Robo Rush happen. He made it happen. Look at Parting using... He's using this high ground. The Queens can't see the prism in this area, so they can break any sort of target fire with it. Yeah, Parting has no intentions of changing his strategy here. This is the strategy. The thing is, it might feel like soO has this in the bag. But don't bring that bag home and reuse it just yet, because Parting has 2 Warp Prisms this time. The strategy has advanced. Alright. So we're just going to have to wait and see who has more energy here is really what it comes down to. There's a half a dozen shield batteries, but there's a half a dozen Queens. So he's building 2. I mean, oh, that Immortal has its back legs. Oh, it's right on the edge of the base. Oh, it's ridiculous. He's now just targeting the shield batteries. I feel like soO's a little late on that, to be honest. He was going to go for it. He really thought... Oh, there's a lair on the way. I don't know if Parting scouted the lair on the way. No. He's been trying to work with what he's got. That Immortal has literally 1 HP. He's got 4 Immortals and 2 Warp Prisms. Make that 5 Immortals, and now here come 3 more shield batteries over here. So, we've really boiled down Protoss to the essential elements. Oh my god, the juggling! The Biles! Oh, he lost one! I think, right? Yeah, okay. But how much is, it's, because you're watching Parting. It's so hard to tell what soO is actually losing during this. Because the Immortals die. 1 Immortal died. There's a Spire on the way. The timer has started. Once again, like, Mutas win the game. Oh, eating a couple miles there. It's a little... Juggling all of this is not easy at all. Because there's a lot, like... There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of little minute micro that... I cannot stress how easy it is for this all to go wrong. It's a house of cards. If that house of cards was made out of, like, I don't know, like, something incredibly brittle. Not even cards, but, like, snowflakes. And they'll melt if things get too hot. And that's a lot of shield batteries. So Parting has filled up this entire base. He has 1 cannon. He's got how many shield batteries? Where's that button? 11 shield batteries. The Queens are holding. Brenda and her knitting crew holding it down on the home front. Waiting for the Mutalisks, of which there are 7 in the production tab. Once those Mutalisks are delivered, Parting, like, this micro trainer map is essentially over. Well, the thing is, there are so many shield batteries that it's not actually over yet. Is the thing. Like, I mean, it is over, but by the way, soO has a 3rd. Oh, he danced his Immortals and he taps it out. Alright. Okay. So, Parting gave it a shot, but once again, the Queens hold it down and are more than enough. Parting, like, he doesn't really let go, does he? For those of you who've watched Parting stream, or met Parting in person, you know he doesn't half-ass things. No matter how good or not so good those things are. He commits. He commits. And that sometimes works out. But sometimes... Well, match point. soO's up 3-2. It is great. The Team GBL 2020 New Year's Mayhem Finals. Thank you to Medics. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to the players. Thank you to Starcraft and Blizzard. Let's jump in. The indicator of a cannon rush oftentimes is walling off the high ground of your main in order to make sure a counterattack is not a threat. He's not walling off the high ground of his main. Therefore, back to basics. But he's going Cybercore before Nexus. Which... like, that's not Cannon Rush crazy, but that's not what you do. That's not the build. That's not the build that people do. So... I'm not going to be over here analyzing these games. I'm just over here experiencing them, okay? That's all I can do. That's all any of us can do. Probe Scout spots the hatch first. soO, back to basics. Nightshade, a relatively standard map. Adept gonna work its way across to Scout. Twilight Council. Let me divine. This is the DT drop. It wasn't before. It was that crazy glaive build that did way too much damage. But this one. He's not going to go back to the glaive build, right? Come on, give me the deets. Give me the deets! Give me the deets! Come on, party! Oh, yeah! Give the people what they want. He knows what he wants. A Nightshade going to the Dark Templar. Throwing a couple shades in here. A Dark Templar drop. Now, some players will immediately, if it's scouted or even hinted at, just make the Dark Templar into an Archon. Parting is a player who not only will not immediately make the DTs into an Archon, he may never turn those DTs into an Archon. Instead, he may use the DTs as Dark Templar throughout most of the early mid game. They are a high damage, high risk unit. They're glass cannons. They somehow haven't evolved the technology for range, but they really slice hard. And now comes the eternal question. I don't know if the skins kind of preclude this, but which Dark Templar is better? Is it the double dagger Dark Templar? Like, you got your fancy ass side blades, or is it? Well, okay. Or is it the scythe DTs? Which one's better? The eternal question. Now, these skins only have one option. The DTs are slicing and dicing, and there's no spore crawler. There's nothing. It's a disaster for soO. The third base is gone. And then what is the question as the DTs make quick work of it. Meanwhile, the adepts were in the natural. And now into the main. Oh my god, he didn't have a spore here either. Wait, can he body block the spore? Can he do it? Oh, I think he can. I think he's got it. Oh, wait, oh my god. Oh my god, parting! Oh, parting! He commits! And he commits! And he slices and dices and eviscerates his way into Game 7. Oh, the deets do everything he needed. And more. The final match. Sometimes, like, so that's the kind of match that, depending on your perspective, can either be great or very disheartening. On one side, you have a professional player who's won $600,000 in Starcraft, just kind of dying to one of the oldest cheeses in the history of Starcraft. A cheese that you, my Silver League friend, who, well, I played Wings of Liberty and I got to Platinum or Diamond, but nowadays, like, I don't play as much. I got back into the game recently, but yeah, you could die to the same thing. But at the same time, one of the top players just died to a almost straight up DT rush. So Parting is pulling out his bag of builds and coming up with, well, enough. I was gonna say pure gold, but some of those, well, and it is match point, and I would be, you understand, we gotta support esports and all that. Game 7, we gotta shout out to our sponsors. So, real quick, I'll be right back. Thank you guys for watching. Quick ads, and then game number 7 coming up. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you about Twitch Prime. Do you have Amazon Prime? Does your mom have Amazon Prime? Well, then connect it to Twitch, and you can get Twitch Prime. You get shitty loot for games that you don't really care about every single month. Or subscribe to a streamer of your choice for free. You don't even have to watch them, but they get more money. Essentially, right now, if you don't subscribe to me, you are losing money. Don't think about it. Just do it. Twitch Prime today. Thank you guys for sticking around. And very quick, 30 seconds. Is it a cannon rush? The final question. Be right back. I think so. I think so. It actually failed. Twice. The third time, as they say, is the time it will probably work out. Game number 7 of the Team GBL 2020 New Year's Mayhem Grand Finals. Thank you again to Maddox and Team GBL for making me a part of it. And I hope you guys enjoyed being a part of it as well. Or maybe at least a parting of it. I don't think he is. It's at the natural. Are they both? Because oh, he's baiting it, and parting like that probe deserves respect and fear. A respectful amount of fear when soO sees the probe, but I don't think he's really biting this time. It looks like everybody's going back to the wheelhouse here. The wheelhouse. What does wheelhouse even mean? What is that term like? It's in their wheelhouse. But what is a wheelhouse? A house of wheels? Doesn't make sense. I understand what the... Moving on. No, not moving on. Wait, boats? It's a boat thing? But where are the wheels on the boat? Oh, I'm serving as a shelter for the person on the wheel. So it's like a safe zone for the person on the boat. Okay. Okay, we're getting a lot of mixed messages. This sounds like a Reddit Today I Learned, which will be both misleading and repeated by a bunch of 20-year-olds until the end of time. That's the Twilight Council. Oh, no, no. Wait. Close your eyes. That's a robo. But it's gonna be Glaves. It's not a robo. So, what? Why? What? Okay, I was right on the Glaves, so round up, 1 out of 2. Oh my god, he's doing it the old-fashioned way. Never trust a probe. A proxy pylon. Ugh. The next level way. Remember when people just proxied pylons everywhere? Oh, the Overlord. The probe can't know. Like, if the probe sees the Overlord has already seen the probe because it has slightly more vision. Air units have slightly more vision than ground. Very important. Parting is gambling, but Parting is quite a gambler. Oh my god. This is like a PvP build. Just put the pylon over there and hope for the best. The Rotorn is not done. There's no wall at the natural. soO is still building drones. He's building a hand. He doesn't know anything. Oh, he's still in the dark. Oh, he sees the probe! He sees the probe! Oh, surprise! Oh, it might be too late! Roaches are on the way. soO must defend. He doesn't have that many more workers either. Resonating Glaves is done. Oh, what? Ah! He faked me out, and I'm observing. soO was very faked out here. Okay, the damage is being dealt. Can Parting get comparable damage to a couple games ago? Oh, the Adepts just shade right on top, and their numbers are just so massive. And you know, at the end of the day, how much damage will be done? Is there roach speed? Roach speed is not on the way. There's nothing on the way for soO. He's got no follow. Oh no, that's a wide open base. Okay, thankfully for him, the Adept shade out. But it appears that soO has adapted to the situation. There's still plenty of workers. He's lost a lot, but Parting does not have a third. I mean, he does now, but he doesn't have it done. He's been throwing shade, but his only a single immortal. You saw what soO did on Ephemeron. He was able to leverage that Roach Ravager into an unlikely, in my opinion, victory, because Parting relied just too much on unreliable units. There wasn't a Warp Prism. Well, there's now a Warp Prism. soO is not out of this yet. I refuse to count him out. After that Ephemeron game, I refuse to count him out. There were missed opportunities with the Adepts, for sure. But overall, soO handled it well enough. And it's now this is the part where both players have to really judge, like, okay, how many units does he have? What kind of economy does he have? soO doesn't know about the third. So he's in the dark. He has to assume the reason that pressure has not continued on his base is because the Parting has invested in a third. So far, well, that is correct. And I would assume that's the reason soO is not moving out, is because he knows he's attacking into a defense position. Where is that spy? It's at the natural. Is it going to be scouted? No. No. But Parting is moving out. That's still a lot of units. soO went up to 63 drones. He can't build any more units. He is supply blocked. It's not getting any better. How many units are on the field? 12 Roaches and 5 Ravagers? That's not enough. A handful of Queens. Corrosive Bile could make the difference. Is there +1? No. No +1 for either side. Oh, beautiful force fields from Parting. Isolating. Oh, maybe wasting a couple there. What is even going on with those? Okay, so he's just kind of throwing them out there. Seeing what sticks. But now the sentries are out of energy, and without Guardian Shield, this army isn't that powerful. It doesn't have a huge upgrade advantage. There are 2 Immortals. This is a very weird fight. Blink isn't done. The Queens are holding the line. They soak a lot of damage. soO is in a precarious position. He's starting to break here, but Blink is not done yet. Once Blink is done, things are not going to get easier for him. The drones are pulled. Desperation. But if he can break this army, if he can crush it, that might be the difference. He has to pull away from his own corrosive biles. 7 drones go down in that exchange, and now Parting is up in workers. soO is desperate. He's pushed back. Blink Stalkers are on the field. Parting relying on that micro again. There's a badly bruised Immortal and another healthy one. More Stalkers on the way. Some Alpha Star action happening here. One Immortal goes down. The other one, but Parting just blinking forward. Is it too aggressive? That Immortal doing so much damage at the back. Corrosive Bile, a couple zealots to tank. soO bringing in Zerglings, but at the same time, oh, something was in the main. I have to assume Adepts. And 19 drones were slaughtered. Just slipping those in. The front was a distraction. it wasn't just the drones at the front. The main base was besieged. And suddenly soO is hamstrung. He's limping. He's gonna need... I don't know where he's gonna find it, but he's gonna need a beautiful fight. Otherwise, Parting will win the war of attrition. The Stalker count is too damn high. There's not enough units. Corrosive Bile is not going to hit Blink Stalkers. Parting is handling himself masterfully. He knows what he's got. He's working it. He's pounding it through. He's chipping away at the edges, and then he's driving it through the front. soO tried his best to hold on, but Parting whipped out the cannon rush, the DTs. He whipped out the glaive to depths. And sure, soO was able to hold the line. Sometimes he was able to turn the tables, but when they come back around, Parting is the one who blinks, but he's not the one who stutters. Okay, well, technically he is as well, but Parting wins 4-3 in a back and forth roller coaster of a game and a series. He shows why he's the big boy. And takes home the Team GBL 2020 New Year's Mayhem Grand Finals. Congratulations to Parting again. soO coming in a comfortable second place. Entertaining punching bag as always. But Parting putting on a show. And I gotta give credit, soO with like his defenses against the cannon rushes and all. The way he tried and sometimes succeeded to handle Parting. But Parting is just like a... He's like a combination of a feral dingo and a chess grandmaster who doesn't talk. You don't know what's coming next, but you know it's dangerous. So, Parting takes it 4-3. Thank you to Maddox, Team GBL. Thank you to you guys for that like and subscribe and comment and all of the ringing the bell and all of that and watching live and Kappa in the chat. And thank you for watching StarCraft 2. Good luck and have fun.